Lakshana, how are you keeping on? Yeah? How is your uncle doing? Is he on dialysis now? Ah, no. All right, okay. Next? Next step. Yeah. Where are they treating in their Jaffna hospitals? All right, okay, good. Yeah, you have to be very careful because it's a very dangerous disease. You have to be very, very careful. As much as possible, if you can avoid dialysis and wait, that's the best thing. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, correct. Okay. Yeah. Let's look at our ADF. Now, I have been, your answer was good, but you did the first part. I sent you the feedback. Did you get the feedback? Yeah. Yeah, very good. So that's the way that you must go. It was a good answer, so that's all right. So, you must think like that and try to write the answer. Uh, the next thing what I want to look at, I have been always thinking about this company. This is one of the, for me, out of the 7, 8 case studies, this is a very different case study because this is a private company, a family company. You don't have many people in that company. Uh, you know, company has not done anything strategic wise for last 15 years. Even I don't know whether the acquisition was a strategic acquisition or not. We do not know. We know the company has not looked for any new buyers or new markets. They have been focusing on the supermarket, and the supermarkets are really having the buying power according to the Porter's five forces. So they are using their buying power to exploit the prices. So when you look at from all those angles, you can see this company is in, and they don't have enough money. They have lot of loans. Last year they have paid 1 million loan repayment only by selling assets. So you can see, imagine you are in this company as a senior manager, you will be under a lot of pressure because they don't seem to have any qualified people. The directors, then you, then the next level is the shed managers or some people, isn't it? So that is the promoted cow herds. So you don't have any qualified people, you don't have anyone to ask any advice, anything like that. Even the internal audit is also a part-time person. So now you are under a lot of pressure to put this company up. No money, family company, you can't go for share issues, all that kind of a thing. So what can you do to increase the revenue, to increase the profit? So one way we thought was that what we are discussing, the Milko, right? We want to acquire a company and try to work through the company, but that needs a lot of money. Raising money is a big problem for this one. It's a business risk what they have, right? Then another way may be to look for different markets. Rather than trying to rely on the supermarkets, can we go and look for hotels or any other area where milk is consumed? At least diversify the market rather than giving everything to the supermarkets. Try to think of some other possible markets. Hotels, they want milk, but you have to remember there are 1,600 cows, 30 liters per cow per day, 48,000 liters. That means 48 tons of milk. Lot of milk to be given to the hotels or whatever. Anyway, that is something. Hotels, hospitals, wherever they are using the milk may be something which you can think of, right? That's one thing you can think of. Any other ways, Lakshana, you think how, now if you are in this company, how you can improve this company's profitability. You have to remember that you don't have enough money. So you can't go for big capital investments. What can you do? One of the biggest problems they are having, they are paying lot of interest, isn't it? All the profit what they are earning, they are paying interest. So what can you do? How can you reduce the interest? If they can reduce the interest cost, I believe half of the problem is solved. I was working in a company in Colombo, similar situation. They were making big profits, but they were paying big interest. So ultimately no profit for the shareholders, no profit for the directors, not even a bonus for the employees. Everything goes to the bank. We work, we earn, and the bank makes it. So what can you think? How can you think? What can they do now? Difficult. What can they do? You have joined this company. So what are you going to do? What are you going to advise the directors? Sell some excessive assets and repay if there are excessive assets, isn't it? Yeah, I thought like this. Can we sell one of those 4 farms? Isn't it? Right? Because if all 4 farms may be something like equal, so if you really look at your profit or loss statement, they are making 420,000 profit. So maybe from one farm, 100,000 like roughly. Yeah. So if we can sell about 2 farms, maybe you may be able to reduce your finance cost. I think the strategy will be to reduce the finance cost, isn't it? And pardon? Yeah? Yeah, because it's a family company. You're right. Because it's a family company, they don't want to go and join with another party. So maybe the way is to cut according to their size rather than trying to borrow money and run 4 farms, run 2 farms at least, because it will be the same profit. Maybe, I mean, I'm thinking, right? Because if they do maybe 210,000, and maybe they might not have any interest to pay because they can negotiate and forget the finance charges altogether. Finally, they might have a 210,000 profit, isn't it? Say 200,000 profit. Remove the finance charges, make it zero. Something like that. So that's something which they can, or they can have a small finance charge. I mean, okay, say now at the moment they are paying 261,000. So if they can sell 2 farms, then half of the cost will be removed. Then because now you have to remember what is the finance, what is the total loan liability? 3.5 or something, no? 3.5 now. 3.5 now. So we have 14 million, right? 14 million or 12 million on property, plant and equipment. So if we sell one farm, maybe 3 million we can collect it. Because these are book values, no? So maybe more than 3 million we can collect it, right? If we can sell one farm. If we assuming everything is spread equally, we can sell one farm, settle the loan. So 1/4 of your profits will not be there. 1/4 of your profits will not be there. So it will not be 420. It will be operating profit at 320 most likely. Finance charges will be zero. And then the profit before tax will be 320. Right? Which is better than earning 420 and paying 261 and ending up 158, isn't it? So I want you to think like that. I want you to think like that. I mean, the ways to get out of this present scenario, because borrowing for this type of a company is not a solution. You will get into more and more deep into the problems. You remember these farms are they acquired it, so they can dispose it also. Right? And they are working separately. One farm, if they remove it, they may be able to be in a better position. So this is something I'm just thinking, which you may be able to work out. Maybe one of the unseen strategies could be that, maybe something in that direction. So that's one thing I was thinking. Another thing I was thinking is, okay, being a family company, now you can't have the 100% control. Bring another investor, keeping the majority 51% to the family. Bring another major investor with a 49% or something like that. Settle the loans, bring some money, settle the loans, and then you may be better off. Right? That's another way you can think of. Because you have to somehow see these loans have become a sickness for this company. So that's another way of you can. Otherwise, not a very popular idea, but sometimes you may have to think of join in with a big company. We join with a company like John Keells or something like that. We join big company. We merge with a big company. So we will not be the controlling people. They will be the controlling people, but they will give the shares of that company to us, and we will have some shares. At least we will be somewhat sure our shareholder wealth will not get eroded, will not get reduced. If we go on like this, our shareholder wealth will get reduced very soon. Isn't it? Not a very popular decision, but at times you can't do anything, you have to do it. I was working in a company, one-man show. He got into a lot of difficulty. Finally, we had to sell the company. That was the only way for him to come out of the problem. So he sold the company. He got some money, and now I think he's doing some gym business or something. He completely moved out from the business of building materials hardware, and he gave it to some other company, got some money, and moved out. So sometimes you may have to think like that also. Then another thing I'm thinking is something which I want to share with you is, now these Andersons, what experience they have? Pardon? Farming, yes, farming, right? They have lot of knowledge about farming. Now I'm thinking, can they do, these Andersons, rather than sitting there and managing their farms, can they go out and do some consultancy work for other farms? You have your cow, you have the shed managers, appoint them as farm managers. You move out and go and do some consultancy work for other small farms, because they are experienced. They are 150 years company. They have their product, nothing wrong. Why do I say so? Because supermarkets won't buy a wrong product, isn't it? So the milk must be very good. Cows must be in good state. So their knowledge of running a farm can be given to other people. Of course, there may be a little bit of a conflict of interest, that kind of a thing. But surely, this is a way at least 2 people or 3 people can move out from this company day-to-day operations, form up another subsidiary company maybe to provide farm consultancy. Today, the trend in the business world is to do lot of consultancy work. Consultancy bring lot of money. Consultancy bring lot of money. So I was working in a hotel company long time back. And we wanted, we were running a farm, the hotel had a farm, but we wanted consultancy. We want some person to come and tell us, how to care for and they will charge a big fee. So here in a country where there is lot of farming, lot of dairy farming activity, which is the environment is good for dairy farming. In that kind of industry, you having that experience, why don't you use that experience to give knowledge to others about farming? No need of any capital expenditure. Right? You just give your time, because your farms, whatever it is, it will run. Right? You have 5 people in the company, in the family, your farms will run. But you can focus and earn some money, additional money to the company. So these are some thoughts which I have had on this company. I'm thinking all the time, even though I know the exam is just 1 week away, I'm thinking all the time, what can I do to get this company in some shape? Any other ideas that you have? These are my ideas. Any ideas you have? To put this company up? Some students suggested cost cutting, but I don't think there is too much on cost cutting here. Normally cost cutting is good, where you have lot of staff and all that, you can do it. But look at the expenses, concentrates, you need to buy it, isn't it? Right? The biggest expenditure what they have is on purchase concentrate, something, staff cost 750. Out of that, 250,000 is their salaries, the director's salary. So they can't live without a salary. So when you look at that one, not too much. Then the other one is the association levy. That also you have to make it. Heat, light and power, you can't stop it. Right? Cow shed repairs, you can't stop it. So if you really look at the expenditure, there is hardly any room for expenditure reduction. If you look at compare with the Kevin's proposal, the only thing that what these people are doing different to Kevin is they are spending more on capital expenditure. You got the point? Yeah, capital expenditure. So you have to think like that and see. I don't think in this case there is so much to get on reduction of cost, because they don't have too many levels of staff. So yesterday our Prime Minister was talking to me. He was asking me about this water board. I was working in the water board earlier. He was asking me, can we reduce the cost? I said, yes, you can, because that is organization. There are we have, when I was there, only 7,000 odd employees, now 16,000 employees. So I said, yes, if you can reduce the staff, you can save cost and you can give water to the consumer at a lesser rate. But the politicians in Sri Lanka, they have put all their people into the water board, and now the water board is unable to meet the expenses. So the next thing what they want to do is they want to increase the water bill. So that is an area where there is room for cost cutting. But here, I don't think they have too much of room for cost cutting, because if you look at the 4 items what they have is the purchase concentrates, which they need, staff cost of 2.5 lakhs is their own salaries, nothing much of a big thing. Then the next item is the 225,000, the levy what they had to pay. That also I don't think they can do anything. That's a government levy. The next, the big item is something like changes in fair value of biological asset, which is a book entry. So when you really look at like that, hardly any big items, depreciation, which is a book entry, right? When you look at like that, hardly anything to remove and to reduce the cost. Right. So these are few things I want you to think about next 1 to 3 days, right? When you go to sleep, you should be thinking about the ADF and thinking, what can I do? Because you have to remember, you are under pressure. You are the only qualified person probably in the company. So people will rely on you to get this company out of its present trouble. So remember we discussed Mark. First part was about the Milko, Susan finding Milko. We want to acquire the Milko. And then we had the second part, I think, on the risk and something like that. Today, I want to look at on that same Mark, the third part of it. So I want to look at this one. 3 months have passed since you first heard of the proposal to expand to South America. So it takes time. You know, these things are not going to happen overnight. So the Milko proposal came. Milko proposal was to go and sell cheese to South America. And it was all right, all that. Max Anderson had just called you into his office and closed the door. She advises she has some exciting, not she, I think he advises that he has some exciting but confidential news to tell you. I'm pleased to tell you that yesterday our family meeting, our board approved to acquire Milko Cheese Manufacturing Company. So 3 months have gone. So they would have done a lot of studies and maybe you also have contributed, whatever. And now they have decided, board approved. Earlier they were considering. So now it is a decision they have made. So once a decision is made, you can't reverse the decision. Now you must go with the decision and see how you can protect the company from some mad, crazy things being done. I'm sorry to drag you from your normal work, but I'm sure you will realize what a huge task lies ahead of us with this acquisition. Now, Lakshana, he says there's a lot of huge tasks lies ahead with this acquisition. Can you just list out what are the huge tasks he's thinking? What are the huge tasks he's thinking? It's not part of the question, but I want you to think about it. Yeah, yeah, correct. Yeah, yeah, we already did 3 million and something. Yes, all right. Yes, good, very good. 3 million for the expansion. Okay, right. Yeah, all right. Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Cultural aspects, isn't it? Yeah. Okay. You remember they were working with outsourced employees, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah, about the safe accidents and all that. Correct. Now that is a good point what you told me. You must bring back from the second section, first section, whatever that was they are relevant to this one to the third section. Just don't forget that the second. Now you can always say because we know in the second section they said that this what is this company Milko is working with outsourced employees, right? So we can say we have to identify the key people and make them permanent. So there are tasks. So you have to always remember what you wrote in the first, what you wrote in the second. All those things can be brought into the third one. Right. Now you can't think suddenly you can get up and think that all Milko people are permanent people because we know Milko people are not permanent people. So always remember when you are doing the first section, the second section, we must remember what we had in the first section. When we are doing the third, all what we had the first and second, we have to remember. Right. Yeah. So good. So what else you think? What is your biggest task? The moment this Max says, we are going ahead, what will be the biggest headache that will come to your head? straight away. You will have to have 2 Panadols when Max says that we are going ahead with this one. Why? That's the biggest problem you are facing now. We just discussed 15 minutes back. What is that? Finances, isn't it? Yeah, that's the biggest task. How to find money? You can make the decision to approve and all that, but how to find money? Right? So, yeah, finding finance is the biggest one. You will faint when he says that, because you know how difficult, easy to take a decision, but to find money is going to be a very, very difficulty. As you rightly said, yes, values and acquisition, the valuation, all that is yes. What else? What else? Yeah, 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 yeah. Economic sustainability. Yeah, yeah, you have to look at that one. You have to get the know-how of cheese manufacturing quickly. Hmm? Because you don't have any cheese manufacturing knowledge, isn't it? Yeah, you have to get the cheese manufacturing knowledge quickly. Yeah, you have to negotiate with the farmers who are already supplying milk. Yeah, small farmers supplying milk. You have to keep them happy. You have to work with the supermarkets to say that we are reducing the supply. Understand? You have to think. Oh, lot of things have to happen. You have to get your staff informed what's happening around. Yeah, yeah, yes, they might protest. All those things can happen, right? So you have to work out a cash flow projection to see how it is going to work it through. So as he says, there is a huge task ahead of you. I need your assistance on a number of issues which have been raised by board members. So you can list out, you can go on listing out many things, right? So we have to think the management time. Who is going to manage or spend time in that place? Because they are 80 kilometers away from our company or something like that. Hmm? Who is going to manage it? Something like, so all those things need to be thought of. Some of my family members are not sure whether our farm workers need to be informed of this acquisition, as they believe that it does not affect employees directly. Personally, I don't agree. I would like your advice on why we should communicate this decision to our employees and what information should the board present to our employees about why we have decided to undertake this major acquisition. I would also like you to identify the risk involved in the process of integrating Milko's employees into ADF's strong company ethos and culture. Lastly, I would like advice on how these integration challenges could be overcome. I'm sorry to put you under pressure, but I need a report from on these within the next hour, as I have a meeting with the family later today. Thank you so much. I really appreciate your help and support. So, there are many tasks, many challenges, but he is specifically addressing on 3 things. One thing, should we advise our employees, and what information should be given to them, why we have decided to undertake this acquisition. So it's a communication, and also about should we communicate, if so, how much information should be given to the employee. Then the pardon. Yeah, in the integration. Earlier we identified the risk of taking this business. Now when you try to marry, what are the risks involved? Then finally, how these integration challenges could be overcome. So first of all, shall we look at what do you think? Should we communicate it to our employees? Why should we communicate? Because the family members says they are not affected because they are here. However, we are taking another company somewhere else. Why should we inform? Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Mm. Yeah. Their responsibility sometimes may not change. But the thing is, it's a strategic change for the company, isn't it? It's a strategic change for the company because we were all this time selling the output to the supermarket, but now we are thinking of moving from the partially moving from supermarket, and it's not milk anymore, it is cheese. It is cheese, and it's not only the far land, it is not highland, it is now going to South America. So the employees are key stakeholders. Under the Mendelow's matrix, they are low power, high interest stakeholder. Isn't it? Yeah. So you are not going to describe the Mendelow's matrix saying there are 4 categories, this, that, and that. You will say our employees fall into under the Mendelow's matrix, low power, high interest. Keep informed, exactly. Now that is the word, right? So if you don't mention that one, even if you write 100 sentences, not good. High power, the low power, high interest. Keep informed. Keep informed. Because they are the stakeholders of the company. They need to know the strategy what we are doing, why we are doing. Because otherwise what happens is they might think, oh, suddenly these fellows might shut down here and go to South America. What will happen to our jobs? Or they might do the Melco, forgetting the, ADF. So we must communicate, and in CIMA Code of Ethics says we must be truthful and honest and fair all the time. So the CIMA Code of Ethics, the integrity, according to integrity, we must be transparent, truthful, and disclose everything to our stakeholders. So that's how you should try to approach it all the time, right? Mendelow's matrix, CIMA Code of Ethics, once you put those things, you are almost guaranteed you will get your full marks on that one. So otherwise, if you say, yes, you have to inform, that's not good enough. Why we have to inform is because they are key, they are high power, they are low power, high interest. They fall into the Mendelow's matrix, the category keep informed. Here it's a strategic direction change, and to dispel their doubts about the future of the company, we need to say we are doing this for the betterment of the company because we want to enhance our revenues because our supermarket prices are not good. We want to diversify into markets. We want to diversify into products. And for that reason, we are going to acquire meat. Isn't it? That's the way you should be always trying to this is what we call the people skills. This is the way that we should, because the long-term direction of the company is something that the employees will be very much concerned with. So this is what we should be doing, because the employees must understand that a new strategy is being decided for the betterment of the company, and that their employment is safe. All that kind of a thing should be highlighted to them. Now the next question is, how much information should we communicate to our employees? Right? What are they asking? Sorry, they're asking, I would like to, and why we have to the employee, what information should the board present to our employees? What information should be provided? So again, according to CIMA Code of Ethics, we must be transparent, but Surely the professional due care says the restrictions, because you are not going to disclose everything. Remember, you don't have so many senior employees in this company, right? They are not at the level where they can contribute towards too much on the strategic thing. So you have to just keep them informed. You can't expect too much of things to come from them, but you have to keep them informed about the why we are doing this, the opportunity what we have got. You don't need to talk about the price and all that with the employees, right? That is not their baby. You don't need to even talk about how we are going to get the money and all that, because they are not unionized or anything like that. So you don't need to worry too much about that one. So the emphasis should be to communicate to them that our desire for growth and that this is for their betterment. Yeah. Oh, very good. Yeah. Benefits is basically if the company does well, surely, they at least they will get their salary, whatever, because so far we have not seen any bonuses or anything being paid. So we don't need to talk about a bonus. But surely with our profits declining, we might get into a situation where we will not be able to pay the salaries. But by going through this process, we can ensure that they will get their remuneration. Understand? Don't promise things what you cannot do. Don't try to create something like saying bonuses and all that, because in the financial statement, we don't see any bonuses being paid or anything like that. And also we have to ensure, we have to tell them that the fair treatment of employees and our ethical culture will prevail upon. Because they will be worried about that, this outsourced employees, all that. So we have to say that our culture, which we have withstand all this time, will prevail for the future also. Correct? So those are the things. Now, I want to put a side question, which is not in this part of the question. How can we communicate these things? What is the process of communication to our employees? How can we communicate? Now, if Andersons ask you, hey, Lakshana, we have to communicate, what is the best way to communicate? You have to remember who are the people who are working in this organization. Best thing is to have a meeting with all the people. Then with whom? Very good, very good. Because you have to remember with the workers, that were people who are working on the cow herds, right? They may not be able to understand or get all this is what you as a SIMA accountant or some person is going to talk about, right? They need to be told in their own language. So their leader is the shed manager. We must communicate it to the shed manager properly. Let the shed manager take it, because the shed manager will know to communicate with his people. You and I, sometimes we can't communicate to them that effectively. Their way of language, right? Their way of, they are not the same level with, to put up a PowerPoint presentation and all that. Crazy, isn't it? Right? So you must, as you rightly said, the entire board must meet the 4 shed managers and maybe the administrative assistants. Communicate to them, and probably because you don't want the shed managers to go and tell something wrongly to the people, because sometimes, all of us, we are not very good listeners. We listen something, we go and tell another story, isn't it? So how can I prevent that one happening? Now imagine you are the shed manager. I'm telling you, I'm Anderson. So I call you and say, Lakshana, we are going to do this thing, going to do this thing, going to do this thing. So many things are told. Can you remember half of what I told you when you leave this office? Hmm? No. So what will you go and tell the people? You will, whatever you remember, you will tell, isn't it? That is the way how our human minds work, isn't it? Hmm? So how can I prevent that happening? How can I prevent Lakshana going and telling something but I did not tell? What can you do? Now what are you doing just now when I'm telling you certain things? You write notes, isn't it? You write notes. Hmm? Take the notes, all right, that is all right. But taking notes also sometimes now when I take about 10 students, you might take the note in a different way, another person might take the note in a different way, and that's dangerous. What can I do? Recording. Yeah, the farmers recording will not work. No, for us, good recording. No, give a newsletter. Yeah, give a printed version of what you are going to tell. And tell them, go and talk this to your people. Understand what I'm telling? Hmm? Hmm? Yeah, that is what I have done in the companies which I work. I call the senior managers, speak to them, but I give them if I want to communicate to the lower levels, I know I can't go to the lower levels and communicate it because I can't meet all the people. They are working in one farm, another farm. So that kind of a situation. So what you can do is you can get the shed manager, give him a printed version of all what, and tell him, please go and read this thing. Or maybe they can put it in the notice board or whatever. Hmm? So he won't go off track. He won't add salt and pepper into what you say. Hmm? He will not remove the sugar of what you say. And maybe in this particular case, because there are 4 farms, the 4 directors are managing the 4 farms. So maybe that each of the directors also could be present when the shed manager present his waves or the board's waves to the lower level, but you stay there. You are not going to talk. So I have done that one also. I have asked sometimes my directors, you go and sit and wait. You don't talk. See whether our man is communicating it properly. If he's telling wrong thing, intervene. Otherwise, just listen and say, wait. That's the way you should do. Now your principal, when she wants to talk to the entire school children, sometimes she might have assembly and talk. Otherwise, she'll talk to the teachers and tell the teachers, go and tell the students, isn't it? Yeah. Every time principal can't meet all the students, no. So the students, the teachers will go and tell, but teachers are educators, so teachers know exactly what to tell. But sometimes, if for safety, principal might give a printed speech and say, this is what you must go and tell them, so that it won't get distorted. Right? It won't get distorted. So these are very good points because sometimes when I was in the water board. We had 8,000 people at that time, 7,100 people, and 28 trade unions. So when I talk to the trade unions, I know those fellows can go and mess around and say, I told something like this, I said I will give a bonus, all that kind of a. I give them a piece of paper. I say, this is what I'm telling you. This is what you must go and tell your membership. Right? So that's the way that you can communicate. This is the way you should be always looking to communicate. These are good ways to develop on this on a kind idea. So that was outside the question. I would like you to identify the risk involved in the process of integration. Integration means when you try to marry the two first, what are the risks involved? Our company, we have a strong company ethos and culture. That means we have an ethical culture in our company. We know their company, they may not be having a strong culture because they are having outsourced employees on a hire and fire basis. How can we, what are the risks involved? When these two families get married, what are the risks? One is a disciplined family, other one is an indisciplined family, if I were to put it like that. What can happen? What can happen to the disciplined family being influenced by the indisciplined family? One is the reputation. Sometimes our employees may become very indisciplined because they will see those fellows, casually coming to work at whatever the time, this, that, and the other. And, that discipline, the culture, all that we maintain can get ruined. The influence, right? Influence. We see this in our families, no? Right? When you have a very close culture, suddenly some man comes into the scene, and if he is a person of, different indiscipline kind of a thing, it can go and slowly creep into the other members of the family also. So, say you have a brother-in-law who is sort of a crazy man. When that man comes into the family, even your own brother who was such a cultured person can get affected. This always can happen when the two cultures get together. That kind of a thing can happen. Then what are the other risks? What are the other risks when you try to integrate it? Our people might feel that our directors are giving more time to that other company, or vice versa. They might feel that our directors are giving more time to ADF and not to them. That can happen. Right? Our people are well trained. Their people are not at all trained. So even, either they might demand training, which is all right, but our people also might decide no need of training. Then because we are strong, yes. Yeah, conflicts can arise. Conflicts can arise because when you join with the other party which is not so disciplined, always there is a kind of a thing that can happen. And also, when we say strong culture and ethos, that means we places a lot of emphasis on fair and ethical treatment of our employee. Whereas other company on a hire and fire method, no ethical treatment of their employees. We do seem to be having a kind of a family culture because you remember two of our shed managers' wives are our administrative assistants or something like that. So we do seem to be having a very strong family kind of organization, whereas there it may be not so. So finally, so you can list it out. You can see many things like that when you really look at it. Finally, how these integration challenges could be overcome. When you bring a kind of a outsider into your family, what will be the first thing you will do? Now you have a Hindu culture, no? So when you bring a person from outside culture into your family, what will you do first of all? What will you do? Yeah, that's correct. That is what is the business term we use. We have to give a induction. Induction. Isn't it? All the employees of this Milko company should be given an induction to our culture. Now, when you join the school, most likely on the very first day, the principal would have called you and told you, this is the way, Lakshana, how we run the school. Right? We don't favor students. We don't favor our teachers, something. She would have given you a list of things. So that is what we call an induction. Now, when you go to a company to work, the first day, first couple of weeks, you will be inducted. You will be told the culture of the company, what is to be done, what is not to be done, how to come up, what kind of a dress you must come. Otherwise, the people will come with various kinds of dresses. What time you must come to office, till what time you must stay in office. All those things are what we call induction. Right? So the first thing what we must do is to remove this kind of a challenge, is to give a good induction to our new employees of the Milko. Now Milko, we have a problem. We don't have permanent staff. So now our culture is we work with permanent staff. So because of that, we have to identify, maybe along with the support of the Milko directors, we will identify the key good employees and make them permanent. Make them permanent. Because we don't want to run one family with, permanent children and another one with unadopted children. You must treat all the children the same way, right? If you have a grandfather will treat all the grandchildren, whether it's your father's children or father's brother's children, same way, isn't it? So here also it's the same story. It's two companies, now same family, so they must be treated in the same way. So one can't be sent to one school and the others can't be sent to another school. All must be treated the same way. So because of that, the key people whom we want to retain must be made permanent. So that is something what we can do. Also, you remember, one of the risks will be always this, it's not only the employees, the society, the community at that country or that company, that level, they might feel not so comfortable when you come and do something. Now, so for example, if one of the Colombo firms come and start something to do in Jaffna, in the main city or whatever, the Jaffna people will be somewhat, will be suspicious whether it is going to corrupt the culture or that kind of a thing. So you have to win the hearts of Jaffna people. So that is what we do with our corporate social responsibility. I'm touching different areas for you on this particular scenario. Corporate social responsibility. Corporate social responsibility will make the people of Jaffna feel more comfortable. Oh, this company that I come from Colombo is doing something good for our people. Giving them English tuition or whatever, they are promoting something for the betterment of the Jaffna people. So that is something and also finally training and team building. Training and team building. So what you do is, you remember Drucker said in F3 would I learn to interchange the staff. Interchange the staff. Take some of their staff and put it to our company. Take some of our people and put it to their company. Of course, there can be some problems on relocation and all that, but we can carefully select some people, send them there. So, the two cultures mix up. Interchange the staff. Right? Maybe one of our senior directors, out of 5, one will be overall in charge of Milko, and so that way he will be a part of the company, so that he can see that everything what ADF does is done at Milko also. So this is the way you should be looking and this kind of a question. And finally, you should be now, these are the final part of this the third section of the mock what we were looking at on the acquisition, right? So finally, I would say, I would end up by saying, I'm happy that the company has decided, but however, I need still to make you cautious. Financing is going to be a very huge challenge, and that need to be properly addressed. Because we are not being given any clue how they are going to finance it, but you have to address that one, because you as the senior strategist should be telling them about the finance, because that is the biggest problem. So these are my points. You can look at, think of a nice answer like what you did in the earlier one. The second one also you can do answer. I don't think second one you did not do answer, no? Yeah. Okay, right, okay. Okay, don't worry. Do it and send it, then I will go through those things and give you a little bit of a feedback. When are you coming to Colombo? You said you're coming on the 23rd. Yeah, 23rd night you're leaving. So when can we do another class? Tomorrow I may not be available. Sunday, yeah, Sunday shall we do? Yes. Yeah, Sunday, yeah, the church in the morning. Church in the morning, then I have 6:30, 7:30. Sunday. Sunday, can we make it around about 8:30? Or 9:30 is too late for you, Sunday. Shall we make it Sunday 9:30? Yeah, I'm going to look at the new mock on Sunday, covering up ethical issues and some other areas. I will look at that one. Let's meet on Sunday at 9:30. Okay. What I discussed just now. Yeah, I will send it to you now. Yes, I will send it to you now. Okay. Right. So I'll see you on Sunday at 9:30. Okay. Take care. Have a great day. Good night.